Hi everyone, so sorry it has taken so long to get these videos done. I've tried to voice them over about 4 times and failed miserably. So this is part 2 of my tropical Russian almonds. Part 1 is viewable to my Patreon followers and members, which shows me removing my previous set and doing all the prep on my natural nail. So if you'd like more information on that, then head on over to my Patreon account. There is a link below in the description for you. So I'm just getting all my products out. I'm using CJP Acrylic, the Glitter Fairy Glitters, Angel Papers and Flakes. I'm using my CJP brushes and Crystal Nails Extreme Forms, the butterfly ones. So I'm just making sure I've got everything out and ready for me to start. As you can see, I've already done my non-dominant hand. This question that's asked a lot, I always start working with my non-dominant hand. So I normally apply with my right hand. So when I do my own nails, I always get my right hand acrylics done first, so I'm working with my non-dominant hand first. Because then it means that, you know, it only gets better from there. Whereas if you start by using your dominant hand first, that hand will look, that you did first looks really good, and then the second looks really poop. So that's a way to kind of like make sure you're always ending on a positive note. So I've dehydrated my nails using NSI Nail Pure Plus. I did a double dehydration on my hand, and then I've used the CJP primer to prime my first 3 nails. I just do 3 and then the other 2 because I'm going to take a little while before I get round to the other ones, so I like to prime, you know, within like 10-15 minutes of actually applying the acrylic. So I'm getting the forms and I'm just making sure I fit them correctly, making sure I get a nice snug fit from the free edge, so there's no step in acrylic. And because I'm doing Russian almonds, I need a little tilt in my form so that I can imagine where my apex will be, the structure and the shape of the nail, and in a minute I'll hold a little file across so you can get an idea of where you want it to be and make sure you get the right shape. However I hold it in front of the camera, it looks a bit wonky. So, sorry. There you go. You can just see, hold form on. Yep, I'm happy with that slight tilt in the file. So I'm starting off using my CJP 10 brush. I'm just going to use this to create a thin, clear base, first of all. I'm not worrying about creating any kind of shape at this point. Sorry that I went out of focus a bit and out of shot. Again, it's really awkward doing your own nails. I was a bit worked up when doing these nails as well because I wanted them to look perfect for the scratch awards, and I haven't done extreme shapes on myself for about 3 months. So yeah, sorry, I was more focused on the nails than getting it in shot. And then coming in with my CJP Amor, which is a nice soft pink, getting in the cuticle and blending down, and then I'm getting a bit of that pre-cut angel paper, popping a bit of wet acrylic on, and then a little bit more on the base, and then I'm going to pick that up and just fold that across, lay it on top where I want. Because I put acrylic on both the angel paper and the base, there shouldn't be any air bubbles and it should sit nice and flat. I'm just putting a little bit of wet acrylic over the join, and then I'm picking up the Glitter Fairies holographic chunky cut in apple and hot pink, and just creating like a little flow, like blending line there. Now I'm going to put my CJP 10 brush away, and I'm going to pick up my 12, and I'm going to tap the nail in my 12. So I'm placing that bead of acrylic just forward of the cuticle, gently blending back, getting that nice smooth apex there, and then I'm going to pat and tap forward. Now I do normally use a different size 12 brush, because I just find the CJP 12, the bristles are a little longer than I'm used to. So I did keep touching my own skin and getting monomer on it, and you know, I don't really like to do that. I just wanted to say that because I know there'll be someone comment on the video going, oh, you kept getting the cuticles really wet. I know I did. And now I'm going to start thinking about the shape and the structure of those nails. So slowly bringing that forward, patting, tapping, blending it down. It's a bit lumpy, but nothing I can't file out. I can see that the basic shape of what I need is there. I'm just going to let that layer set for a little bit, and then I'm going to apply the form onto my second nail. Once I've applied the form, because it takes a lot of fiddling around, that other nail should be ready to pinch. So rather than just sitting and waiting for it to be ready to pinch, I was like, right, get a form on the next finger. I tend to, when I do my own nails, especially extreme length, I will put one form on at a time and I will deal with one finger at a time. It just makes it a lot easier for me rather than putting 3 or 5 forms on, and then I feel like I'm almost falling over my fingers a bit. So I'm now popping that pinching tool on a little higher than I usually would, because these are an extreme length, and also it took a couple of beads to finish off that nail. So obviously the tip of the nail, I had to wait for that to be ready to pinch, so the top of the nail was a few seconds past pinching. So I've just put it on a little tighter. That's because I'm doing it on myself, and also I'm not going to be wearing these nails for the length of time I normally would. So I'm not too worried about doing a tighter pinch. The other nail, I've put a clear base down, and then I'm coming in with my milky pink, sorry. I'm blending down to the free edge and then a little further, and then going to the clear. Then I'm using a bead of clear acrylic, a very small wet bead of clear acrylic, to pick up some of the Crystal Chameleon flakes in Peridot, and blending down. Then just using a wet brush to pick up a few bits of that chunky glitter, before I then cap the same way as I did the last. I feel like I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm really sorry. Again, I've tried about 4 attempts to voice over this video. I've also just realised that the door to my kitchen is open and my washing machine is really loud. So if you can hear that in the background, I'm really sorry, but I'm not doing this voiceover again. I've done it about 5 times now. That's an understatement, more than 5 times. So this is it. This is the final cut. Sorry guys, this is what you're getting. I'm doing the same as the last nail, gently patting and pulling that down, thinking about the shape and the apex and the structure that I want to make. Now I'm only going to show you 2 of the nails, because I did pretty much the same thing on all the other nails. Some had angel paper in, others just had Crystal Chameleon flakes and a bit of glitter. And then when I'd finished doing that, I obviously put the form on my next nail, and then pinched that while I was doing the next nail, and so on. I will try and get a model in soon to do some extreme lengths for you so you can see it better. And now filing. I love angel paper on a matte surface. That looks so pretty. So when you're filing extreme shapes, it's quite painful on yourself. So you'll see I bend my hands in really strange positions so that my fingers are kind of trying to support and reduce any extra stress on those nails. Obviously when you're doing it on your client, it's much easier to file quite gently and give them all the support they need. But when you're filing on yourself, you will find that you're kind of like pushing your nail about a bit. But this is where I'm thinking about that structure and that shape that I want for Russian Almond. So it's a similar filing technique that I always use: sidewall, free edge, around the cuticle area, body of the nail. But with the extreme shapes, I tend to do I want to get a rough shape at the beginning for free wall from sidewall and free edge. But I will normally wait until I've done the majority of the body of the nail before then refining those. And you'll also find when you're filing the body of your nail, you will shape a lot of the free edge and sidewall, you'll get most of the shape. So again, it's just a little refine again at the end. So just checking it from all angles, making sure you're looking at it from up, down, side. Make sure you're happy that it's a nice, even, well-balanced nail. Now, I've split this video into 2 parts. So this is part 1, and in part 2 you will see me... No, this is part 2. Part 1 is available purely to my Patreon followers. And part 3 will be uploaded on here as well, so you can see me doing the decoration. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Any questions, comments or requests, just pop them below, and I hope to see you in part 3. Bye!